Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today we're going to talk about depression. For years and years, there's been information out there that said depression is just a chemical imbalance, and a lot of the times it's put out there that you just have to take medicine and there's nothing really you could do about it. But I was doing research and I came across this Harvard study that was talking about that depression is way more complex than just a chemical imbalance, and there's actually good information which shows that you don't have to be trapped in depression. There are actually things you can do to heal your brain, because your brain is malleable and it actually can grow or change or shrink based on the things that are going on in your life and your perceptions and your beliefs. So let's get into it. Before I start, I want to say I am not a medical health professional, so this isn't advice to tell you what you should or you shouldn't do. I'm just here to share the study that I have seen and any information that I have learned along the years. So first, let's talk about what depression is. Depression is not just feeling sad, it's this deep despair and hopelessness and feelings of worthlessness. You have this belief that nothing will ever get better, you are worth nothing, nothing is good in your life. Like, you just feel this emptiness and this numbness, and it's just this, your body feels heavy, you feel fatigued, you have physical symptoms, you feel bad consistently. It's not just a moment of like sadness. Sadness is when something happens and you feel this moment of being sad, and maybe you'll feel it for a few weeks or what have you. No, depression is weeks upon months of feeling this despair, worthlessness, hopelessness. So how does depression come about? So in the Harvard study, it says depression is caused by faulty mood regulation by your brain, genetic vulnerability, so some people are more susceptible to depression than others based on their family genetics, and stressful life events. So those three create the environment for depression. So it's not a matter of one chemical being too high or other chemicals being too low. It's more complex than that. There are millions upon billions chemical reactions that make up the dynamic system that is responsible for your mood, perceptions, and how you experience life. So with this level of complexity, two people can have the same symptoms, but they will need different treatments because the neurotransmitters are completely different in their brain. But the core problem is what's going on the inside, so different treatments will work with different people. Now, before we talk about depression in the brain, we have to talk about neurons and neurotransmitters. Neurons are nerve cells that send messages all over your body to do things from thinking, breathing, talking, etc. So when it comes to depression, there are chemicals that are relaying messages from neuron to neuron. When you have negative beliefs, when you have self-worth issues, when negative things happen in your life, these are all neurons that are getting fired. So as you have more of these beliefs, it will continue to strengthen, and these neurons will be on a negative feedback loop. So it's important to dive into your brain regions and your mood. So certain areas of your brain regulate your mood. And in the Harvard study, it had talked about nerve cell connections, nerve cell growth, and the function of nerve circuits have a major impact on depression. Now let's talk about depression in the brain. It affects many different areas, but I want to focus on the amygdala and the hippocampus. So when they had studied people with depression, they noticed in a small group that some people's amygdalas, which is responsible for your emotions, it's happy, sad, angry, all your moods, was enhanced, which means that there's more room for all of these negative emotions to take over. And this area of your brain can be enhanced based on what's going on in your life, and especially if you have a lot of stressors in your life. Because the more stress you have in your life, the more likely you are going to be in more of your animalistic instincts, which is part of the amygdala, the limbic system. And so there's a lot more room for a lot of negative beliefs, negative emotions, beliefs, all those things inside your amygdala to be happening. Parts of our brain enhance or shrink all the time depending on what's going on in our life. And if you have a very stressful life, you are more likely to be in the animalistic instinct part of your brain because you're in survival, and so your amygdala is more likely to be enhanced because you need that part of your brain to be able to survive the things that are happening. Now, another part of the brain that is affected is the hippocampus, which is in charge of the memory and also emotional regulation. It showed in the study that there's a portion of people that have depression that are more likely to have a smaller hippocampus. It's shown that chronic stress, when you're depressed, you're chronically stressed, it inhibits growth in these areas. And this leads to negative effects on the mood. So because your hippocampus, your memory, part of your long-term memory is shrunk, that means there's less room for there to be an ability for new neurons to grow. And then also the thalamus is part of depression, where that's sensory input and it helps regulate your emotion. So disruptions here may explain why people with depression such extreme changes in their perception of the world. So for a little recap, basically neurons are a big part of what has to do with depression, and the fact that different parts of your brain are shrunken or enhanced, and it causes a difficulty to be able to get out of this depression. So that's why just thinking positively doesn't make it better. Here's the good news though. Your brain is very malleable. And the reason why depression medication can work is because they notice in depression medications what it does is it helps to create new neurons, so that way you can start to have better mood regulation and you can have different beliefs and different thoughts. However, you may notice that medication may only work temporarily, or you may have this belief that you need to be on it long term. Here's the thing. Medication most of the time, if not always, is important with depression because of the situation when it comes to the fact that you're in this deep hole and you can't get out of it. So you need something to help you. But you need to continuously do work once you have that boost out of that deep hole. So this is where neuroplasticity comes into play. Because your brain is so malleable, when you start to feel better, that's when you have to run with it, and you have to actively do things to change your beliefs, and you have to do actions. Okay, baby, I'm almost done. You have to do actions that change your life and make you feel better. Those are the biggest things. It has to be a change in lifestyle and change of your beliefs in order for you to continuously be out of depression. Just because right now things are happening with your brain that are causing depression doesn't mean that you can't not get out of it. It's just your brain changes based on the stress that's going on in your life, your events, your beliefs. All those things make up for how your brain is. So what you need to do when you are feeling a little better is jump on that bandwagon, and you need to immediately change even the way you eat, exercise, journal consistently, see where your negative beliefs are and challenge them. You need to change maybe the people that you're around. You maybe need to change jobs. You maybe need to change you know, even your appearance. Maybe you need a makeover to make yourself feel better. You have to just do things consistently and really work on how you feel about yourself. Really working on self-love, self-parenting, self-soothing, tackling the problem areas. having responsibility, that's so important. When you feel like you have a purpose or you have responsibilities, that gives you a reason to keep going. We as humans want to feel like we're improving in something in life. That encourages us. So find things, find hobbies, find purpose, find things that make you want to wake up every day. And like I said, when you're in the depths of despair and depression, you will not be able to do that. But when you're taking medication or you're finding the thing that helps you to start to feel better and not like you're worthless, that's when you need to take action and actively do things to better your mental health. And with neuroplasticity, that's when it comes to changing your beliefs, and that then changes the neurons that fire throughout your body and the messages your body sends, the messages it sends to your body. So you notice, like, when you're feeling worthless, you're having all these negative feelings, you're having these negative beliefs, you see the world completely differently, you think people don't like you or nobody wants you around. But you could see that that's how much an effect your beliefs have on you and perception of the world has on you. What do you think could happen if your perception changes and your beliefs change? You'll be a completely different person. You'll take risks, you'll go after things that you want, you'll feel completely differently, because that's how much of an effect you have on yourself. And again, I want to reiterate, it's not like thinking positive, like, oh, things are going to happen for me. No, it's genuinely changing your beliefs and taking risk and taking action to get those things to happen. It's having purpose and feeling worthy. So that's the core thing, is you just want to tackle those problem areas. Journal, meditate. Meditation is so important. That also helps that also changes your brain chemistry and the way that your brain functions. There's tons of studies on that. But you definitely want to tackle the root and come up with a plan of what you need. And you'll notice your life will change. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. This hair's not gonna work with me. And that's just the way it is. Which shows that you...
The washer has finished running.
Yes, baby. A computer? Yeah, that's a computer. Who are you saying bye to? Mom. You singing? I love you. I love you too. Coco. Yeah, that's Coco. Alright, Mama's almost done. Give me a few minutes. Okay? Computer?